Hey Jesus gang, it is Preacher Pete and we are back with another devotional. Today we're going to be talking about being happy where you're at, being in a steady place. So when God works in your life, He's in control, right? So there's no point for us to force or to try to make things happen. This is something that I've struggled with and sometimes I still struggle with. But when God's in control, He will always make a way for you. And you'll notice it too. You're not worshiping the gift, you're worshiping the giver. And what I mean by that is, if God promised you something, He's going to deliver on it. But it's really important that you don't put that above Him. This is why we go through a waiting season. This is why we go through a preparation season. This is why when things come slower to us, we appreciate them way more than we would if God just gave it right to us. God's timing is perfect. If He wants to give it to you right now, if He wants you to have that new promotion, that new partner, that new friend group, that new whatever it may be in your life, right? He will make it at the perfect time to make sure that you don't ruin the blessing that He's trying to give you. You know, oftentimes I find myself, especially with this ministry, growing in my faith. And so I grow because I'm trusting God's timing. That doesn't mean that I understand what's going on in my life. It just means that I'm happy being with Him where I'm at. This road that you're on, it's a very, very narrow road when you follow God. But God will give you peace and steadiness while you're on this walk. And that's the point. We're supposed to walk, not run. So when you're walking this journey with God, ask yourself every day, what do you want from me? What do I need to do better? And often the enemy will come into your thoughts, and this is why I pray to put the armor of God on you every single morning. If you don't know what that is, just look up armor of God in the Bible and pray it over your day. And matter of fact, I'll just tell you what it is the helmet of salvation, right? If there's a spiritual world out there, and we're in the earthly realm, and we believe that God is real, and heaven is real, and hell is real, then there's evil and there's good. What's important, it says in the Bible, the devil seeks like a roaring lion who he may devour. And how you need to think about this is, if you were in war and you're armored up and you're prepared, you're gonna be ready for it. That doesn't mean that you're more powerful. God is powerful. He's where we find our strength. What that means is you are now prepared. You are now prepared for your day to go into it, not without sin, but blocking out sin. Because sinful thoughts will always come to your head. We will always be tempted. And thieves don't break into empty houses. So if you're being tempted more and more, that means that a bigger blessing's coming for you because the enemy's losing his grip. The helmet of salvation is the first armor of God, and that is to protect your mindset and your thoughts against the enemy. And this is one of the biggest pieces that I pray for of armor every day. Then you have the breastplate of righteousness. I pray, God, whatever life throws at me today, whatever's in life, let me just respond righteously. And that's an underrated one that I pray about every day, but I'll be honest with you, it shows off, because that's like your composure when people will do you wrong, or it's not even like at your job, like just in traffic or in life. Like you might be going to get food and someone cuts in line and it doesn't even faze you. The old you it would, but now you're just, whatever, I'll just get my food. And when you have that mindset, it's not like a giving up mindset, or it's not being ran over. That's different. Self-respect is a huge thing that God teaches, but turning the other cheek when it comes to like not big issues that you make a big issue, that's where the breastplate of righteousness comes out. And it's building your character too. If you respond righteously to things that you used to not, you're growing, right, as a person. And the next one is the belt of truth. Now the belt of truth, is crazy because you're praying for your wisdom, your guidance. I've added clarity in there, discernment. And what all these things are is the knowledge of God throughout your day, the knowledge of a career path. Which career should I choose? You might have like 5 opportunities in front of you, and you need to make the right choice because God is an omnipresent God. God sees in the future and the past, right? And also, what we touched on the other day is do not go up the hill and forget about God. Oftentimes, whenever God gives us our blessings, we forget about Him. So He's working on you right now to remember Him and remember the things that you've learned. If you're in this waiting season, it's not punishment. This delay is not punishment. It's preparation so you can hold on this time to this blessing, and it's even better than the ones He gave you before. So many times God gave me opportunities in my life, and I did not use it to the fullest potential. And I will say, when God gives you opportunities, pray for confirmation. And if you mean it, it will come crystal clear. And there's also symbolism. Like if you go to a new job and there's a lot of favor for you, when you walk in, it's like you didn't even have to try. That's God opening a door before you walked in. And it's the same with a friend group, or sometimes you'll meet random people when the Holy Spirit kind of leads you to go talk to people, and you don't have to do anything. God's already led that conversation. So like I said, don't force it, be steady. That's 3 pieces of armor: the helmet, the breastplate, and the belt, right? So these next 3, it's really simple, is the shoes of good news. And what that is when we say believe and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, ask and it shall be given unto you. All these scriptures are in the Bible. When we are saying that over our life, we're already believing that it's came true in God's will. You can't just believe anything and believe in God and make it happen. You can't manipulate God. That's worshiping the gift over the giver. And if you are, just be honest with yourself. It's okay to talk to yourself and be like, look, I'm putting this above you, but I'm not meaning to. God is way more human in interactions than we think. We make it so difficult sometimes. And I've had that conversation many times. And it could be the enemy. It could be the enemy putting something really good that God's trying to give you, and He's trying to make that over your God. So the shoes of good news is actually awesome because it means, hey, I not only know that something's coming for me, I'm thanking you for it. Thank you for my wife. Thank you for my career. Thank you for progression. Thank you for favor. Thanking God before it happens. And that's very biblical. And then we will get to the last 2, the shield of faith and the sword of the Spirit. Now the shield of faith, when you pray this, you pray to block the devil's fiery arrows, because he shoots at you when you chase God. The devil has no power over you. God is powerful, but you have got to arm yourself every day with the armor of God. What that means is lust, idolatry, and idolatry could be yourself or just doom scrolling. There's so many different things. Envy, a nice car runs past you. Oh, I wish I had that car. Just be grateful for what you have. You never know if God's got something way bigger for you than what they have. But you're not going to get it if you keep coveting and envying what other people have. And also, you'll never be happy. Once you learn how to be happy with what you have and life just upgrades for you, you just keep the appreciation. It's expected because you're thanking the giver, not the gift, right? The last thing is the sword of the Spirit. So the sword of the Spirit is huge. And what this means is I know the Bible, and I know the Bible is truth, and Jesus used it against Satan when he was here. So when you use the sword of the Spirit, what this is, the Bible and prayer, whatever you're going through in life, you look up what you're going through. Sometimes you'll feel led to read the Bible. That's very intimate. But if you want to be strategic about your faith, you want to be strategic about your spirituality and your life, like being proactive about it, look up, like if you're struggling with lust, then you look up verses against that. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but the principalities of darkness, because it's actually not lust, it's loneliness half the time, and you don't realize it because you don't pray for wisdom. Someone just wants love, and that's men or women. That's not really tied. women, if you have anxiety or you're worried about something, let it go to God. You know, lay down all my burdens. Take all my burdens in the Bible. That's what it says. And God says there's not a day you should worry about. And he also says live day by day. Now, this doesn't mean that we don't prepare. This doesn't mean that we don't do stuff like plan and strategize. But what it means is spiritually, if you're struggling with something, don't think far ahead. If you feel like God has put something in your life and it hasn't came to you yet, he's got it. Just you do your day, because he's going to make it at the perfect time. And there might be a job or someone he's getting ready for you. You might be ready. He might just be getting them ready for you. So just realize the armor of God. We'll go again: the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the belt of truth, the shoes of good news and peace, the shield of faith, and the sword of the Spirit. These are going to be a superpower when it comes to your faith. And I encourage you, I pray these every morning as soon as I wake up and every night. And it's not because Preacher Pete is Preacher Pete. It's because I've been through trials and I realize where my help comes from. And then prayers don't stop when life gets good. And God don't stop when your life gets good. So I know that it seems like things are delayed and you're waiting for a long time, but God can be using you even more. God can be refining you even more for something big in your life. And it's not just this time to get it, it's to hold on to it.